Apathy, in the face of injustice, is a tool which can be used by the carrier of the injustice to their own benefit. By taking a stance of neutrality and indifference in the face of injustice, you essentially show that you don't care, quite literally, about the injustice which is being conveyed. And consequently, you enable it's similar not caring about other people from the carrier of the injustice to have affirmation for their views. So, for instance, if you don't care about the plight of trans people when faced with the threat of the far right, then you are showing apathy which benefits that of the abuser, because you're showing you're not caring about trans people is an enabler for the transphobia from the far right to be enacted. Similarly with Black Lives Matter and the police brutality that you see across America, and to an extent other Western nations, indifference to these concerns, these activism, these causes, leads to the affirmation of the far right and racism by showing you don't care for the victims of police brutality. And when you say you're indifferent to Black Lives Matter, you're saying you're indifferent to police brutality. And consequently, you're showing that your apathy is more important than the plight and lives of people who are being affected by discrimination and by bigotry. And you're enabling yourself to be used as a tool by those who seek to harm black people, to seek to harm trans people, LGBT. Your indifference is the benefit and the aid to those who seek injustice. And until people realise that, until people realise not caring is not a valid option, we're always going to see bigotry and discrimination remain a threat. So, for instance, you look at what the current Trump administration is doing with their power. They've already signed off quite a few trans rights. They've banned trans people from the military. They've defunded urban healthcare centres and general aid healthcare-wise across many US areas, US cities even. And lots of people have simply not really been bothered by it, have not taken the time to research and to engage in what is going on in America. And consequently, people are going to have their livelihoods suffer and are going to die because of people not caring. Because too many people are unable to recognise what does not directly affect them. And the consequence of that is transphobia and racism and any other form of discrimination will get stronger, because you're not questioning the source of the transphobia. You're not asking why this has been allowed to happen. You're not caring about others, and your apathy is being used to amplify the bigotry from others in society, from the far right, from the Trump administration. And when you ask yourself, how did Trump happen? Why is Trump happening? Why is this going on? You need to look at what you're doing and how you're thinking and how you're feeling about the things that are happening in the world. And if you don't care, then you've answered the question. Your not caring is what enables people to do heinous, awful acts. And lots of people on the internet and in society in general seem to pride themselves on a sort of apathy, on a contrarian, not caring, not being sympathetic. You see the facts of the feelings don't matter rhetoric spouted out a lot. And it's rubbish. It's essentially showing you don't have any real feelings for what goes on in society, and you don't care about people who are suffering. And that's not something to be proud of. It's better to care than not to care, especially when it's people's livelihoods on the line. And consequently, I think that people who pride themselves on this sense of apathy, who allow themselves to remain neutral even in the face of stone-cold injustice, need to rethink how they stand in the world, because your apathy in the face of injustice is the tool the far-right use to push their goals. And the longer you do nothing, the longer you say nothing and feel nothing for your trans companions, your black companions, your female companions, your gay companions, everyone who is a target of the far right will see more suffering for those groups as a consequence. So apathy is absolutely not something you want to be doing in the face of injustice. And if you're still apathetic to injustice, then you need to ask yourself how far right you really stand, because quite clearly you're not caring enough about your fellow humans.